Hi, this is Maria Amtmann. I am the founder of Capuyo Parenting, which is a coaching parenting business. I am based in Mexico City, and I got certified by JAI I finished in December 2020. I think more than one thing, but the thing that really has got me clients, it's like talk about what I do. So, and more at the beginning, like now I try to control myself because I do like to talk about what I do, but it's like tiring if every time you see a person, it's the only conversation they have. But at the beginning, I was like all for it, and it worked really well. Like every time I went to a party, to a baby shower, to a business event with my husband, like whatever I would go, there's always this question, like when you meet someone, like, oh, so what do you do? What do you do for a living? Or so I would always like talk about like that I take care, mostly I take care of my 3 kids, but of course I would talk about what I've been, that I got certified by this amazing like parenting institute, and that I was coaching parents, and that it's an amazing journey, and how like I always share how my own parenting got transformed, because I have 3 children. They're 11, 9, and 7. But when I first heard about conscious parenting, I had like 3 babies. They were like 4, 2, and a newborn. I was like in a crazy time, and I was having a really hard time with my older one. And I remember the first time I heard someone talking about how it's not about them, it's about you, about like looking, I always say it like this, like looking yourself in the mirror and see what's bringing the conflict with your children, and how that's what we work. And I always tell them that it's like 3 main pillars, what I do, what I teach, that is what I learned at JAI. And it's like the knowledge part, like to know like the information, the content, how the brain works, how the attachment is built, like all these like information. And then the feelings, like to make space for the feelings, to make room for feelings. And then like the more practical thing that are the tools. And I explained to them that this is learned throughout the program. It's not like 1, 2, 3. And it's been amazing. Like every time, like sometimes I have like, oh, hi, do you remember 2 years ago that you told me about that you're doing? I'm in a crisis. I need your help. And honestly, it's been like that. It's like mostly it's been out of the word of mouth. And also I would have to say that there was also like a structured part of building my brand, having the name, having a logo. So a friend of mine, I asked her, it's a designer that I love and I admire. And so I asked for her help. So we built like the name and the image. And then another friend was starting her marketing. Like she used to work like in a big company that built websites, I guess, but she wanted to be more with their children. So she was starting her own boutique, like a company to help like small business owners to launch their pages. So she was like, she's like a very dear friend of mine. We had our first babies at the same time while we were living in New York. She's from Argentina. So she was like, this is going to be my gift for you. I'm going to give it for you. So she gave the webpage for me. And I was like all for it. Like I just, at the beginning, I just trust the process, went with the flow. And there's one thing I also have to say, that it was like a big moment in my, like starting my business. I used to have a head hunting firm with a friend. We were partners and we used to work. It was like a boutique head hunting firm. And I used to love that work. I liked it. I was good. We were good at it, but it wasn't like my calling. I didn't feel like it was my passion. So I remember like talking to my partner, who also loved all the conscious parenting thing, and I was like, I think like I know I have to switch paths, like I have to go all for it. And she was like very supportive. And I remember when I graduated, she told me like, I want to be your first client. And I'm like, no, you can't be my client, like you're my friend. No, I want to be your first client, and you're gonna charge. And I was like, no, I can't, like you're my sister, like I can't charge you. And she was like, I've done this mistake, I haven't charged for my work, and I want you to charge because your work has a value. And that was like, it was like such a powerful thing. And of course I charged. I remember in Jai you suggested like first charge like a quarter of the price for the first two clients, and then half of it, and then a little bit more until, and you say like, and I think it was like that, for my seventh client I'm gonna charge full price. And I did it that way, and it worked. All of coaches have been in the process, right? So you know how powerful this work is. And there's this other side where I get what I get, that you might doubt, like, and it happened to me a lot at the beginning. How if some days I don't know what to do with the tantrum of one of my kids, how am I supposed to teach someone something? And I felt like incapable of doing it. But so first advice would be like, just start. And once you start, you'll see how powerful the transformation is, that you'll know there's a lot of value there. And it's your work, and your work, your time, your energy, your heart has, it's not a price, but it has a value, which you have to put a price on it. It's hard. I would say that that's been the hardest part of my journey, to remember that, to take out, not because I'm a parenting coach means that I'm a perfect parent. It has nothing to do with it. Because that when I go down that path, it takes me to very bad places. Mm-hmm. So what has helped me, it's to understand that we're not perfect, me or my clients, we are humans, and to make mistakes freely without that pressure of trying to be or to pretend I'm perfect, but more like embracing the chaos, embracing the imperfections, and because also learning that from those moments, it's where the most growth is. So what I do is, every time I feel like that, I work it on a personal level, like either with my therapist or with a coaching partner or with someone, and focus on showing how we just get out parent as we can, doing it without having an expectation that it has to be some way or with a result. And it's more about just showing our imperfect parenting and making I'm trying to find that word in English, like if there's a rupture, repair, like to repair, and trust in the repair, and trust that 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago, before I knew conscious parenting, every time I had a fight with one of my kids, or that I felt bad because I was exhausted, and I screamed at them, and I would go to my bed with a mountain of guilt, knowing that it's not there anymore. Like guilt, it's no longer invited, and it's more like, okay, so this happens. What can I do with that? What happened today that took us there? And go back, see what changes do I have to make repairs where I have to make repairs, and feel the cat without fear. I have this, one of my favorite clients, she's a single mother. And I remember when I met her, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we were talking about how hard parenting was. And a couple of months later, she texted me because I shared what I was doing. And she was in like, she felt so disconnected. She was living like a very hard moment of her life, trying to provide for her children, for her kid, but also feeling so disconnected from him. And it was like a very difficult moment of life. And I remember while going through the program, I remember her sharing how one day she started a fight pillow in her bed, and how she felt connected to him, and how she felt like the connection, the power of being feeling connected to him. And this being a client that returns every once in a while for a session. And I remember like, and I love her because she texts me every time she has a bad moment, like, oh my God, this happens and I'm feeling so frustrated. But then she's like, I want to share this something magical happened today my son did this, and this is because of the work we've done together. So knowing that life has changed, like that relationship, it's been transformed. It's one of the and this is like one example, but it's like such like an evident result of the work I do, that I feel honored to be able to guide my clients through this process. Mostly I have one-on-ones, which lately I've been doing more couples, which I love to work with both parents. But mostly it's been one-on-one, actually, since the beginning. Like I've taught like maybe 3 groups, small groups, but it's one-on-ones, and I'm switching. I just took the group coaching program from Jai, the course, because I wanted to feel more confident again in guiding groups, and I want to grow my practice towards there, like being able to in 1 hour have more clients, not only like one-on-ones. And I have plans like for growing my business, I want to tropicalize like the content to because I love it, but there are parts that are like very American culture. So I want to design with all that I've learned and with the experiences that I had with my clients, to decide like a tailor-made program or course maybe for my Mexican clients. Greatest one, it's been having a mother that gives space for feeling, because that's been the most, I think, powerful change in my life. That if I'm angry or I'm sad or I'm frustrated, I can like vocalize it, and I can say like, hey, I'm super angry or I'm frustrated, or today I'm very sad, I'm just gonna go to my room and lay down. But they don't have to be guessing what's happening with their mother. And I think that's been very powerful. And also I've been very into like storytelling and books, and so it's something that we have, like especially now with my youngest, with Pablo, that is 7, like he won't go to bed without a story, which 99% of the times I love. And yes, and like I think also like getting less serious about some stuff that it's not that important. Like I put an example a lot of the times to my clients that sometimes like when I think about my personal values and my family values, I value connection and I value etiquette, like table etiquette, but it's not like connection, it's here, etiquette, it's like here, right? So if I, when we get together at the table, if I'm all the time like correcting them, like put your elbow down, close your mouth. If I only do that, then I lose the opportunity to connect, which is a higher value for me. So I, of course, I try to teach them how to sit properly, but they're gonna learn that because they see me. So I try to trust more that, or remember what's my goal of the moment. What are we doing in the moment? So if I have to correct something, I'll do it. But maybe once they finish sharing something, it's important for them instead of interrupting them because they have food on their mouth. One of my clients was my son's teacher. One day, I remember she texted me, "Oh, Maria, I have to ask you. Andres told me that you're like a parenting coach. Is it true?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I work with her. But when we had the discovery call, she told me that they were talking about like businesses and like big businesses and things like that. And they were telling about like different examples of industries and things. And then it was like, yes, my mother has a company. She's a parenting coach, and he shared everything about it. Of course, I felt very proud, and it was a special moment. And she went through the program, so that was fun. Right. And Pablo thinks it's another story. One of his friends, his mother opened like a store, like a candy store. So we went the first day they opened because it's right next door. So we went there and we bought something, and he was like, "Oh, mom, my friend's mom, she works at a store, right? And you work at books, right? Because I read like books." Don't doubt about your capacity. Think about all the children that are in need of connecting with their caregivers and how powerful that is. And there's something that it's like a core belief that I have, that when you do something that you love and you do it with quality, however your quality looks, like without comparing yourself, you will find clients. Like you just have to be determined and be open. There have been periods in my journey with this business where I said, I feel like this right now, this is too much. So I have to close my heart for the clients because I have to support one of my children in this. And they stopped calling, clients stopped calling. And the moment I said, okay, now my kids are coming later from school, so I have more time, and I open my heart for clients come, like without posting more, without like, it's amazing. So just open your heart, trust, and bring this work out to your community.